It's game day in the Kingdom, and we're setting up shop right where it all starts. The Red Lot. Mike the Intern, Jake and Bart bringing the pregame vibes, stories, and all things Chiefs right here on 104.7 The Cave.
.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jake, and an empty chair because my dad either forgot that we were doing this today or he's got something going he's not responding to. So hopefully we'll find out and he'll show up at some point during the show. But if not, Jake and I can handle it.
Yeah, we
no
got
problem.
This. I can do my best impression.
My dad, it'd just be me.
well, son.
First week preseason done. Looked like a lot of people showed up for that game, or we were talking a little bit before this. I talked about a little bit about it last week when we did this, and I said it's crazy because 5-10 years ago, maybe longer, probably 7 to 12 actually is more accurate. You could go to a preseason game as just a guy that bought, $40 tickets just to go because you didn't want to pay during the regular season and still get down to the lower bowl. Almost guaranteed by the middle of that first quarter, you've got a pretty good idea of where the holes are and you could head down there and no one's going to mess with you. That has not been the case for like the last probably 3 to 5 years. It's not possible anymore. You go in there and your seat is your seat, whether it's preseason or regular season. And I think that was pretty much the case for the game on Saturday. What do you think?
I was proud of it. Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. Once the game got kicked off and people get settled in after getting their food and beer, and it's like, holy crap, we talked about this, and there's butts in those seats, man. So I was happy. I was, that helps. I don't think the fans realize how much that helps our players feel like, okay, these guys are in it. This is a new year. We're going to kick some butt. So,
and it, as a return to the way things ought to be with football coming back, it felt good. It felt a little weird when it was, 100 degrees outside, but at the same time, it was good. Arrowhead was rocking. A lot of players' families were there. Johnson's family was there. They kept showing him because he got a lot of work on Saturday, and we'll dive into what we saw from some of those rookies. And what we saw from some of the first team starters that got at least one play, Chris Jones.
He was a little pissed, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, they want to play.
Helmet on, they
want to compete, and I guess Spag saw what he needed to see in that first play, and that was it, and he was done. And most of the first team starters after that was done because they got to figure out the depth. And that's kind of what we've got to do is figure out the depth as we go into this. So I think overall, the Chiefs look good. Preseason, we never win anything.
Nope.
That's not the MO for the team. That's not what they're trying to do. But before we get into some of the players, I think overall, the only thing that I would suggest and the thing that kind of gives me a little concern, penalties, my man.
It was pretty bad, and we've had that issue for a while.
And I know EB is not happy about that.
No.
And some of them were false starts. Some were ineligible blockers downfield. These are real clean stuff that should not be happening. But on the other end of the spectrum, I'm happy that it's happening in the preseason, and let's hope we can get that cleaned up. But it's so funny because it's like that's the MO. Can you really believe it? Because you hear it so many times. We're going to watch the film and we're going to clean up some of the stuff we need to clean up every single time.
No joke, man. And I'll tell you, EB will not stand for that. This is not Nagy. This is a guy that will rain hell on you if you continue to do something like what Juwan Taylor did over the last 5 years. So could you imagine EB and Taylor being with how Taylor ended up?
It's not gonna. Well, he gone, so it don't matter. But I can't seem to think that he would let that slide, especially when it becomes a consistent issue. And again, it's one of those things too where you can look at it from the perspective. Of course, everyone's always like, Chiefs always get the calls. We didn't get those calls last year. And as a player and a professional, I've said this time and time again. As someone that competes in a professional league, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, baseball, the officials are a very small, close group of men and women that talk to each other, that work together. You've got different crews, but they all know the deal. And when it becomes common knowledge that a certain player will do certain things right on the cusp, whether that's holding on, if you're a cornerback and you're holding on to the receiver a little bit too long, in the case like we mentioned with Jawan, you're constantly getting that real quick step off before the ball is snapped to try and get that you're right on the line. Sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not. Those things need to be cleaned up because the officials are looking for it.
Well, not only you got the coaches in your ear too.
Well, yeah, but
that the defensive coach was like, "Hey, they're jumping offside. You got to call that." You know, they're all, you're right. They're watching. They hear from the league. I guarantee you,
it makes their job easier.
Yeah, it does.
You're
making their job easier being a piece of crap.
And it irritates me because, I mean, I guess it's a human thing, you know, where you have this tendency to see the things you're looking for versus the things that you should just be observing. Like, you know, as a fan, I want my officials to be concentrated on what they need to be concentrated. Line judges where the ball is, back judge what's happening with the line and all the other stuff, and you know all the little nuances. And I know it's a lot more advanced than that and what they have to watch, and there's a lot going on. But it seems to me that if a ref has got that in their mind that they're just hyper focusing on when those things happen, it's like, well, what else are they missing? You know,
that's a really good point. Actually, if they're thinking, okay, we're playing the Chiefs and let's use Taylor.
Got to watch this guy because he steps off sides. Got to watch this guy because he holds his receivers too long. You know, it seems to me that they may have those. I don't know. I think I need to ask Ned about this because he's good buddies with Nemers, and Nemers was a longtime white hat in the NFL, and I know that he's going to say, nope, we don't do that. But it's like, but that's not what I see. You might not consciously do that, but you're doing it. Because it happens consistently. And I know that we're hard on Jawan because of what he did. And I don't even want to know how many yards. I guess I could ask the AI how many yards that guy is. I'm gonna ask him how many yards he cost us if they can as a Chiefs while we do this. But my point being that he's not the only one that does those quick step back to kind of right on the line. There are other tackles in the league that do that. But again, if you are constantly being called for it, they're going to start watching it, whether they're cognitive of it or not. And it's just one of those things where I think hopefully they can get that stuff cleaned up and we don't have that target on our back. It's kind of like that one game last year on special teams where they had a defensive hold on our team from the same player
Cochran, wasn't it?
Cochran. Yeah, it was Cochran. Three times in one game. Literally every punt or kickoff return, he got held. He was holding someone 3 times in one game.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I need to see you in the blue tent. You're there like beating him up. Like, get your head out of your ass. Come on, man. Yeah, no, I get it. It's one of those deals where I like how you point out, like, what's amazing about the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl, how many Seahawks games did you watch last year?
Right.
Be honest.
Until postseason, none. I mean,
they could have the same player that we have with Jawan Taylor, but we'd never know it because, number one, Seahawks are never on TV. Chiefs have prime time. Everybody sees it, and they already hate us because we're a dynasty. So it's like it's amplified, and it's under the microscope.
All right.
What's up?
The Jawan breakdown.
Oh, you looked it up already.
Yeah. For 3 seasons, 23, 24, 25, 55 flags, 41 of which were accepted. That cost us 330 yards all. That's over 100 yards per season, 32 of which were just the false starts and holds combined. 330 yards. You could make an argument that that's at least on a conservative side, 4 to 5 touchdowns, depending. You had 80 yards-ish, 70, 80 yards, right? Math, real loose math there. That's a lot. That's a lot. And again, when you look at the numbers like that, you go, how could they not be consistently looking at this guy? Again, that doesn't make it right. I'm not putting this out there to say, well, they were too hard on Jawan. He was obviously offsides. That's why they flew the flag. What we're talking about here is, were they hyper focused on him? And I think your point to the point of some of the teams that fly under the radar because they've had shaky years, they get away with that stuff until they get to the postseason. And at that point, it's too late because those refs are going to let them play. That stuff flies a little bit more under the radar in the postseason because they don't want to. I mean, until there's 2 minutes left in the game, then they start throwing ticky tacky flags. But yeah, I just
the holding call in the Super Bowl.
I just want consistent officiating in
That's
any
all
sport.
I want.
That's all I want.
Yep.
And you don't get it. It's just, I mean, and I'm curious because I think the first league that'll probably take over when let the robots handle it will probably be baseball.
The WNBA.
Oh, well, that yeah, it could. I mean, they're horrible, but I don't know how basketball would be a very difficult thing for
robots
running up and down the side of the court.
Baseball will be much easier.
Baseball, I think, will be the first. It has to be. Because again, I can't remember. It's like John Boy or something. He's like a sports guy. He comments when you have those weird calls and interesting plays, and he does the voiceover of like what's happening in their interaction. I think it's John Boy. Is what his.
I bet you it's entertaining,
dude. It's the funniest thing. But it's what it showed me too is that there really is no consistency in officiating. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what it is. We just watched it in the World Cup, and that happens every 4 years. And there wasn't consistent officiating in that.
Yeah, so there was a lot of controversy even in that the football.
We all love the human element until it doesn't work for us. You know what I mean? And
as a
Chiefs fan, I feel that
it does seem like it's getting worse in MLB now. When you can challenge it, right? You tap your head, and it's crazy.
There's a lot of that going on too, which they needed to make baseball last longer. Of course they did. Anyway, it's the Red Lot. Jake and myself, Mike the Intern. The Chiefs take on the Bucks in Tampa Bay. Preseason starts in under an hour. Or excuse me, the pregame starts in under an hour. This is the Red Lot, brought to you by Yingling Flight. We'll be back to talk about some of the rookie performances we saw last weekend in Kansas City on 104.7. The
It's game day in the kingdom, and we're setting up shop right where it all starts. The Red Lot. Mike the Intern, Jake and Bart bringing the pregame vibes, stories, and all things Chiefs right here on 104.7 The Cave.
Mike the Intern, Jake. We are Bartless on the Red Lot, brought to you by Yingling Flight. I wonder what I'm kind of starting to get a little concerned.
Maybe he's the invisible man.
He could be
with no voice.
He's retired. I know what he's going to say is, "I'm retired." Is what he's going to respond with. I do this because I want, and if I can't, I won't do it. I'm retired.
Listen, son.
I really think he probably forgotten he's mowing the yard somewhere. He's probably mowing his mother-in-law's yard right now.
Nice. Well, that's nice of him to do that.
It's supposed to rain
Thursday.
I think he's working on it. So, of course, preseason continues today. Chiefs, Tampa Bay, 5:30 kickoff. We've got a week under our belt as far as what we saw in the first week. A lot has been said about Cyrus Allen in training camp, and I think he
good, dude.
He got a chance to show his stuff. What'd you think?
He reminded me of Mike Evans.
That's also what I don't know if he's got his complete size.
No, he's a little smaller.
He definitely gave me the vibe of what I said last week when we were talking about the wide receiver room, and I said we really just need an all-out guy,
an athlete.
We need an all-out guy.
Yeah,
like we've got deep threats. We've got the bodies to get in the inside slant stuff and just kind of, real quick pitch off to get, 4 yards just down before he gets stopped, try to get on the outs, cut the outside. But we don't have a Mike Evans who can be all of those things, can be a deep threat, can be that guy. And I think Cyrus, he looked good. Looked really good.
He did. They keep showing that one play. I know it's just preseason. He was limited a little bit, but that one where he jumped looked like 10 feet in the air, honestly. And got the catch, came down. You're always worried. I watch everything from when they land to the end of the tackle because I'm always like, oh, man, that was really close to having, an ankle injury there. But, man, he did look good. He looked good. And I know he's just playing the Rams secondary, like third, fourth, fifth defenses, but still, there's a lot. If Mahomes can be, we talked about his being comfortable, trusting his players. If that guy continues doing what he's doing, that's going to be a target for him.
He's going to be a target. He got the most targets on Saturday, which was 5, 2 of which got him 20 yards receiving in a preseason game. Really good. On that note, though, Mahomes, of course, didn't play.
Nope.
So I was wrong about that. I was blind hope, if you will. I kind of knew deep down it wasn't, but I was just going to be the homer and say it anyway because I really hoped it would happen. But they got to protect him, and I get it.
Kelsey's supporting the gladiator haircut and mustache.
Married man. But I thought though they didn't use Fields as much as I thought they would.
I thought they would play him more. That makes me wonder. Maybe Mahomes isn't going to play a couple first games of the year. What are your thoughts? Because if you hurt that guy, although Mr. Third String, help me with his name.
Garrett Nussmeier, who I was definitely going to talk about in his performance because I thought he did phenomenal.
He did. No, he did.
You didn't think
so? No, I think he
I thought Garrett was I was like, man, that might be our guy right there.
Never know, man. Sitting back, just tossing around. I mean, he looked really, really, really good.
Calm.
Yep.
He had the feeling he worked that team like they were his guys, like he was the starter and he controlled the game, which that takes a long time for a quarterback to develop those relationships, the way you see it, how to operate it. Again, we're talking as homers for a preseason game here, but I really liked seeing that leadership from him. And like I said, his ability to control the game. You know how I feel about Brady, and you know how I feel about the accolades and all that stuff. But I will say this: I knock him all the time and call him an average quarterback with 7 championships or whatever it is. I would be safe to say that he is definitely in the top 3 of game controllers of all time. And that is what made him so good, was that he was able to control the game and settle it down and keep it in his hands. Even when they were losing, it felt like he still had control of the game.
You're right.
Mahomes can do that, but I believe his talent kind of eclipses his ability to control the game, and his competitiveness inside of him kind of makes him push him outside of, we got to do this. It's got to be on me. I got to make this happen, which then, of course, causes mistakes, interceptions, all that stuff.
Being rushed.
But I think Brady was one of the best at doing that. And not to compare Garrett Nussmeier to Tom Brady, but at the same time, seeing that in a young quarterback who just got drafted this year, that makes me feel really good.
No, he did. He sat back, had composure, played the majority of the game, and I enjoyed watching him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there was just some calming, like, this guy kind of acts like he knows what he's doing. He's a kid.
Yeah. And it wasn't we always talk about the series of plays is usually decided 3 or 4 before a regular season game. They might have like, this is how we're going to play out the 4 possessions, right? And how their succession of plays go. Usually it's not that much further, but it's around that area, I think. Preseason, it looked like they had done that already with him, but it makes you wonder because he's so far down the line if that was actually the case, and he's just had a hell of a camp and has absorbed it all. I mean, it was really, really, really good to see. But on that note, it makes me wonder because, there's no way in hell that they picked up Fields let me rephrase this. There is no way in hell they're ever going to let Patrick Mahomes do like a tush push, right?
No.
Or anything else.
Not since that Denver game.
Yeah. And,
so that kid, you're telling me?
I'm thinking that's might be why they got Fields.
Well, I mean, the Wildcat, big time.
Wildcat use, tush push use, put him in to do those things. I think that might be the way they're going.
Oh, I think so too.
It would be smart to do that. It would be stupid not to pick up an athlete of that caliber and not use him in that regard. I think you're wasting a space if you're not going to use him.
Yeah, and you can try to draw the defense off sides, try to, knowing that he's only going to come in on 3rd and whatever it is for a Wildcat play, if he or even 4th down, on the 4th down plays, trying to get him to draw off sides, knowing that, okay, this guy's not going to throw it. He's only in here to run it for 2 yards. So I agree with you. Unless Mahomes doesn't play against the Broncos week 1 and maybe into week 2, yes, Fields is our guy. He's going to be the starter. But outside of that, once Mahomes comes back, and if it is week 1, that I don't think we're going to see much of Justin Fields. He'll be your typical backup.
I hope they can do it, but at the same time, do you think it's possible that in the game today and the game back in Kansas City next week, if Garrett shows that he can just do this, is Fields' job in contention? I mean,
I think what's his do you know what his contract's for?
I think it's just a year. I'm pretty sure Justin.
Then this would be perfect, because think about it. Garrett being a third string, right? And all through camp, all through practices all year long, getting all that, and being under Mahomes. Granted, we don't think Mahomes is going anywhere for at minimum 5 more years, right? He's been in the league 8, or this is 9th year. But let's say 5 years. Now you're pushing 13, 14 years in the league. Garrett could be the next Chad Henne, where he just sits there and is just a stud that sits there, and next he is the next man up.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that might be what they're thinking. It's a 2-year. My fault.
So Fields is there for 2 years. Yep. Okay.
But I don't know if it's what the guarantee. I mean, if it, like you said, I mean, if Garrett comes up and we see this kid that can literally just do anything, it'd be hard to hold him back. I mean, what a guy to learn from, just like with Alex. I mean, but we got multiple years left with Mahomes, but at the same time, like Garrett, man, that was some good stuff. In addition to him, I thought, of course, Kenny got in there for a couple of plays, but then after that, as far as the running game was concerned, in my personal opinion, I thought Johnson did phenomenally well.
He did.
His family was there, which is really cool to see, but he definitely held his own.
Yeah, he had like 10 missed tackles.
And what he reminded me of was rookie year Kareem. The versatility that Kareem had.
That would be crazy if he's not as you think he's not as big as Kareem.
He's not as stocky as Kareem, but he has the acumen that it reminds me of what Kareem could do. He could see, he could move, burst of speed, get out on the edge, and then turn around, catch the ball when he needed to. I mean, he seemed to me he was a very, very smart player. And I think also what he had 12 rushing attempts, 59 yards, longest one was 13, had a touchdown that should have been a touchdown, but then got called back because another penalty.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been a touchdown though, because I really don't think he was holding. I think his arm just got caught in the motion, and then his arm got caught. It wasn't like he was holding him back. But again, this ticky-tacky stuff, they're going to be watching him. They really are. But yeah, it was cool to see his family there, and I think he's RB2. He has to be.
Oh, I agree. 100%. I mean, I think with behind Walker, yes, we still have Kareem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kareem is a solid guy for 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 2. I'm sorry. Like something, obviously Walker's going to get the bulk of it. You're going to see Kareem come in on those 3rd and shorts because he's just a massive piece of meat that just can run through people.
No, unrestricted free agent. We don't have him.
Who?
Kareem. No, he's off. He's out. So he's out in the room.
How did we miss that?
Well, I mean,
I thought he was back for another year.
They didn't sign him again, and I think that's where I got confused. He had one more year on his deal, and again, if they're looking at new youth, and like I said, I think Johnson is him, but a younger him, because we all know that in the NFL, running backs have about the shelf life like your milk. It's gone within 4 years. Is
that because we eat so much cereal?
Yes, because we love cereal.
No.
I'm a Cocoa Pebbles guy, man. You can't go wrong with Cocoa Pebbles.
I like the Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably the best. It's probably the best cereal, hands down. I'll tell you right now, the Malto Meal version of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch is actually
I've not
better.
Had that.
They have they put more cinnamon. I think they just put more sugar in that stuff. Man,
it's good, huh?
It's good stuff.
Malto Meal. You get more for less. Yeah. So anyway, when we come back, we'll talk about what we expect to see this next preseason game against the Bucks. You're listening to The Red Lot, brought to you by Yuengling Flight on your home for the Kansas City Chiefs, 104.7 The K.
from the father-son duo that bleeds red and gold. Welcome to the Red Lot. Mike the Intern, Jake and Bart are holding it down pregame style. Hot takes, cold drinks, and the loudest fans in football. Right here on 104.7 The Cave.
104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jake, and we're Bartless. It's the Red Lot on your home for the Kansas City Chiefs, 104.7 The Cave, brought to you by Yingling Flight.
I love beer.
Me too. Can't drink anymore because I put on a bunch of weight. So I used to make it.
That
any kind of beer that you want, I could have made.
I think we've all done that before. Brewed our own beers.
Yep.
Remember when craft beer hit the scene?
Man, you could craft brewery every corner. Now everyone's trying to get skinny and wants to drink seltzers.
Or THC.
Or smoking weed. Either way, take your pick.
Drinking the THC,
seltzers
man.
and the THC drinks.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do all grain. You could tell me your favorite beer and I could make it. 4 keg system in my house.
Did you
all
go to
5
that
gallons.
little hometown brewing place to buy all
I buy stuff from them. And I used to go to the one in Ozark a lot. That was the one.
That's a good spot too.
Those guys were awesome. The guys in town are really good too. But then when I took on the weight loss journey that I went on, that was the first thing to go. Is like
it has to be, man.
Literally,
it's like eating a loaf of bread.
Every beer, but in liquid form.
And
I'm a thirsty guy,
so
6 to 10 beers for me was nothing, and that's probably getting on 2,000 to 3,000 calories.
But now we have Yingling Flight.
Yeah, but
it's light.
It's light and it tastes good. You still get that Yingling flavor. All right, so. We talked about Emmett Johnson. We talked about Cyrus. We talked about Garrett. Another place of note, in my opinion, is obviously that offensive line, which I thought, again, for the most part, held their own. I'm a little bit shaky on the depth, but I think overall, would you think about Josh Simmons, Jalen, and the front five holding up in those early series they actually played?
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell in the first game of the preseason. We'll see how they do against Tampa here today, but it's one of those things where it's like, I can't wait for they're in there for more than one series to see what's going on. And I'm excited about our O-line for the first time in a long time. I really am. That Taylor thing we talked about the first segment was that was such a thorn on our side for so long. And then it just kind of was a domino effect with how it just affects everybody, not just him and us talking about the refs and the coaching, but like the entire line. And so, man, I am excited for this team, for our offensive line, and I hope, like you said, the depth piece, they can get that figured out.
Yeah, and you could tell they're building it for the run. The way they have.
Well, they should. We have the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, everyone else has done that. We definitely need to follow suit.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, I am too, and that's a big part of it, and it's something that we've lacked several years. The stat was that we won 2 or 3 Super Bowls without a top 15 running back. You know what I mean? And that shows you the versatility of our leader, Patrick Mahomes, but also that we lean too much on to the passing game when we definitely should have, because once they figured that out, it did nothing but cause us problems. Obviously, everyone made a really big deal about Mansour Delane and being the first draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs to kind of fill in the gap that we lost with Deuce and Watson, right?
Yep.
And
our corners,
which were in the Ram in the blue and gold when we faced him. But I think what that's done though is kind of fueled Nall Williams, because I feel like Nall felt like it's mine now. I'm going to be the man. And then we go and get a first round stud who in the league, when you pick up a cornerback in the first round, it's almost plug and play.
And we moved up. Yeah. Let's not forget.
And so then you see that, at least what I saw, I mean, Mansour is kind of coming off a little injury. He needed to play a little bit, but I think Nall has stepped up to say, no, man, it's mine and I'm going to take it.
And that's what this time period is for.
Yeah.
This is the time to make that 53-man roster and be like, I'm the starter. Not just make the roster, but I want that position. That rookie can wait. I agree.
And I'm kind of hoping that we'll see, obviously with getting Snead back, that having him in a leadership role will be nice. But really, I'm getting a feeling like this is more of a Snead Deuce situation that we saw several years ago when we had them both, and they were just arguably the top CBs in the game, in my opinion, especially that season. How they worked together, and just you had one that was just so fast and smart, and then the Bruiser and Snead just come in and just take care of business. I'm kind of getting the feeling that might be Nall and Mansour's a chemistry, and I'm hoping that is.
I hope that is the case, because Snead was a beast back in the day. Shutdown. Remember, he had no touchdowns one year.
Yeah,
not a single touchdown against him. And then McDuffie was just a shutdown corner as well. Last year, without Snead, it kind of showed that we need what you're talking about.
We need the Bruiser.
Yes. Yeah. And so, but we're not going to pay him $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams went out and paid him $100 million. So
got it. He deserved the bag. He helped us win a ring. Like, there's no hate. I'll always love Trent McDuffie for what he did for us. And again, it's still early. We still don't know. But if those guys can do what we need, we've been such a young and fast defense the last few years. It's kind of like when you play those racing games, and you're going through the different cars, and they have all the stats of the cars, like speed, handling.
You look for all the green.
You don't want all of it to be in speed. You don't want all of it to be in handling. You don't want all of it to be in acceleration. You kind of want even. And I feel like we've had a very fast defense, and that's great. But if you don't have the size too to kind of counterbalance that, or also, I guess, piggyback on it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, we'll see that out of those guys this year. Karlaftis is definitely going to have to step it up.
I agree.
Especially with the addition of R. Mason Thomas, who I thought did pretty good. Didn't play as much as I thought they were going to have him play. I wonder if that's by design. They definitely let Peter Woods play a lot. And I thought he looked okay. They being the Rams, got a little bit more running on us than I would have liked. So that's kind of cause for concern. But again, who knows what those matchups were. Rams could have had their first team against our second team, whatever. We don't know. But in the regular season, it won't matter. You got to win those battles regardless. So we'll see, and again, we didn't have Chris Jones in there too to kind of counterbalance what we're hoping to see between Peter Woods and Chris in the middle, stopping that stuff. Because if he gets that counterbalance and the outside guys are able to do what they do while the guys in the back are doing what they do, everything should work like it should work. But
should all fall into place for sure.
It is. All right. So they're going to be going down to Tampa Bay for the game this evening, and it's going to be a little warm. Have you ever been to a game at Bucks Stadium?
No, it's just humid as hell down there.
Yeah.
It's just humid as hell here.
Tampa's actually not that bad of a place.
No, you're close to the beach.
Mom lives kind of outside of Tampa, and I've been down there a few times. It's awesome. I never was a big Florida guy. I've been in that state all over, every place. And I was like, Florida. But then I went to the west side where Tampa is, and I was like, okay, this is badass. This is cool. I like this little stretch on the inside of the Gulf. That area, it's badass. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Direct flight.
Yeah,
right?
Direct flight out of Springfield back home is cheap as hell.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's a nice little spot, and it's not bad, and it feels a little more. It's you got the touristy stuff, but at the same time, you can still get to Orlando in like an hour and a half, depending on traffic, and it's pretty much all lights for the most part all the way. It sucks driving across, dude. I've done it, and it's horrible, especially if you hit it at the wrong time. It's just like it's like driving in California. It sucks, but
it's a stadium unlike any other, and I've never been there. But having the big freaking battleship,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the guy. That's the coolest thing in the world. Being able to fire that thing off,
yes,
and the pool and all that stuff. Oh my god, it would definitely be something to check out. We've got a guy here, Randy, who is a massive Bucks fan, and
Randy Cruz.
I know
Randy.
He goes down to at least 1 or 2 games a year.
Dude, that guy's crazy. Yeah. He goes to a lot more games than I think we realize.
I think I don't know if he is a season ticket holder.
I don't remember if they did,
but
not.
I know that they go.
I felt like a couple of years ago he did,
and that's good for him. I mean,
we should have invited him in here for a little chewing, a little
but
drawing.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think about this game?
Hey, the Bucks have that Kansas Jayhawk quarterback that has really. I saw someone go. Well, Randy posted it. He's like, "Is Baker Mayfield's job in jeopardy?" And because the kid went crazy, rushed for a touchdown, was very high on his percentages, over 100 yards easy. And of course, I'm a big Kansas guy, so I was like, holy crap, this guy's actually undrafted and good kid.
One
but,
of those stories that you hear, but that, like we were talking about with Mansour and Nall, that's just going to fuel. You know how Baker is.
Have you been watching quarterback? Did you watch quarterback last season on Netflix?
Yeah.
I became somewhat of a Baker fan, man.
I'm not big on his school, but
forget OU.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's those it sucks because you try to not have those prejudices, but then you see, he went to Ohio.
Oh, he's real.
Oh, he's a Sooner. He was a Florida State guy. Screw that. Whatever your biases is, we all have that, and it's and then he was a Brown, which didn't help it in my opinion.
Because remember he was supposed to be the next Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
a real piece of work,
and that's wherever. but instead of going the Johnny Manziel route, doing absolutely nothing, he got got
traded like 5 times
for
man.
Deshaun.
Yeah, dude.
Good job.
The
Cleveland.
masseuse lover.
Good front office working there.
The Browns, man.
That's great. I don't know if you guys just did that on purpose or what, but anyway, so then he gets shipped off to Tampa and proved himself. I think he hasn't gotten them a championship, but at the same time, he's kind of coming to the, even though he was an AFC divisional rival, he's kind of coming to the Phillip Rivers land for me, where I take that back because
we hate Phillip Rivers, man.
I never liked Phillip Rivers until he retired. But then I always had a mad amount of respect for him as a competitor, as a leader. He did what he needed to do. And it's just unfortunate he was against us in a division. I always had nothing but the utmost respect for him. Same thing with Baker. He's a competitor. He's a little dude. He goes out there and you can smack him in the mouth and he'll get back up and he'll ask it for again. Yep. And he's one of those guys that you just can't kill.
Yep.
And you got to be fearful of him because he will make you pay. And so I'll be interested to see if this kid from Kansas is doing anything, but I think, like I said, I think that's just going to fuel Baker, and Baker's just he's like, nah, man, this is mine. And I'll show you why.
100%.
But also if the kid from Kansas does his job and learns everything he can from Baker, that might be the future.
It'd be a solid happen. We don't ever want anybody to get hurt except for Dak Prescott. But it's one of those deals where it's like, if something happens, man, it's kind of nice knowing that you got a decent QB2 behind you, kind of what we talked about with our guys.
Yeah, definitely. So. Well, you're listening to The Red Lot, brought to you by Yingling Flight. We'll come back with our predictions next on your home for the Kansas City Chiefs, 104.7.
The Red Lot. Mike the Intern, Jake and Bart bringing the pregame vibes, stories, and all things Chiefs right here on 104.7 The Cave.
Mike the Intern, Jake, and we are Bartless. I thought he would make it by the time we were done, but I haven't heard from him, so now I'm getting a little concerned. I'm going to start calling him and make sure he's okay. But
it's kind of like going pantless, isn't it?
Like I said, I think he's probably working on some project and just forgot. I guarantee he was like, I got to get this. I'm building a barn door, and I got to get it finished today. And he woke up and was doing it, or he had to mow something, and I'm sure he lives basically on a farm, so they got a big property, so he got to take care of it. And he's retired, so he does this because he wants to do it. So we don't want to make it too unfortunate for him. But as we sit here, the Kansas City Chiefs will start their preseason coverage
game 2
for the next game against the Bucks. That starts here in about an hour, 5 o'clock, or excuse me, under an hour, about 10, 15 minutes away. And then the game starts at 6:30 Central Daylight Time. Right now, spread Bucks -3.5.
Oh,
Kansas City plus 152. Over under 37.5 on this one. Like I said last week, you got to be a degenerate to want to gamble on preseason football. But like Ned told me once, you can gamble during, before, or even after if you want to. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
He likes to call it chocolate chips. I got some chocolate chips on this.
Yeah, he hadn't done. He had a pretty big college football thing going there for a while, man. And that's some money or chocolate chips that I do not want to lose.
We did this thing called the Sherm at Metro here in town every Friday at noon. Lunch provided by Pat there, and then we pick all of our games, and he's always there, and it's a fun time. But you're right, like those guys, that's another level. Like I don't know anything really. I watch college football. I'm kind of new at it because Kansas was never a good team, and so it's one of those deals where I'm like, oh god, well I'd watch a little Arkansas because the word Kansas.
You watch the first month and then you'd be done.
Yeah. But now KU's been doing pretty good, so I've been kind of watching it. But those guys that know about college football. I've got to look it up. Like, who am I rookie draft? I don't know nobody coming out of the rookie draft because I don't, Ferdinand, Mr. Heisman, that was about it. And then we try to see who the Chiefs are going to take. But yeah, college football is a whole nother world.
And you got to be following it along because, again, like when we find out about these guys here or they get to the league, we've got 4 or 5 years of tape on them, sometimes more, depending on which school they go to, Texas Tech. Those guys, they're like, yeah, man, he's been recruited highest player in Texas since he was 6 years old, man. You should have seen him playing against these 15-year-olds when he was 7. He's just knocking them out. That stuff is just, how do you, it's hard enough. I know it's, I guess it's relative and maybe not, but like with music, I don't have to think about it. And I know it. So I guess you just are always constantly listening and watching and just absorbing it. It's the only way you can do it. And then, of course, applying it. But if you ask Ned, does that really matter? Does that really make a difference? He will tell you it doesn't, because if it did, he'd be one of the richest men in the country. For
sure.
But he's not. And so that should tell you all you need to know about gambling in the preseason. But if you were, like I said, the projection spread,
I would go with the under.
You're going to take the under?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, over 37.5. So that's what?
That's like 20 to 17.
Yeah, it's like
not
19
happen,
to 16,
man. Yeah.
19, 18, something like that. And which would be close. I think if you were to gamble on a preseason game, that would be the only safe bet to make.
The over-under?
Would be the over-under, and that's all I'm touching. I wouldn't want to mess with I wouldn't want to mess with the money line. I wouldn't want to mess with the spread. Over under is really all I care about.
I'm going to do it right now on the one of my apps.
Oh, no.
Yes, I am. You just talked me into it without talking me into it.
So you're going to take the under. You feel that
I'm going
strongly
under on this. Yeah.
Or again, I think I said last week, prop bets too, because prop bets would be good. But again, it would be a lot more difficult than the preseason because you're really just thinking about who is that stud they're going to go to. Well, in the Chiefs case, if you're watching it and you're like, okay, who's going to be the receiver that gets the most receptions today, I would probably put my money on Cyrus again. And as far as receiving yards and or touches, it's probably going to be Emmett Johnson again. Yeah. I think that's what I would assume. I would like to see them get something I didn't see last week that I would like to see today that they didn't do last time, and that would be getting those running backs involved, or not running backs. We were just talking about running backs, tight ends involved a little bit more than they had been.
Well, we know Noah Gray's the next. He's not going to be that. Do you shake your head? Are you saying no?
I thought
he did all right. I mean,
I
they
think he
didn't
did
play
okay.
much.
He's been okay so far, but there was another kid that I thought that when I saw what he was doing, he seemed a little bit more inept. Brenningstool. The kid, he seemed like he was doing really well. Now, again, you got Kelsey. He's not touched. Noah Gray and Wiley both have been, kind of on the line, but I think I saw a little bit more shine out of Jake Brenningstool than I did out of the other two. But we'll see. Today is a day for us to test it out. As always, you can watch us do this live on Facebook or YouTube, the pregame before any Kansas City Chiefs game, preseason, regular season, and hopefully postseason. The show is brought to you by Yingling Flight, and hopefully next week my dad will be here. I'm going to call him as soon as we're done and yell at him for not being a part of it because Jake's sad and he's lonely by himself on that side. He couldn't put his hand on his leg like he normally does. They weren't holding hands, and I could see it in his eyes. But again, thanks for coming by, Jake. Chiefs start in just a few minutes right here on your home for the Kansas City Chiefs. 104.7 The Cave.
Another game in the books and another Sunday in the red lot. Well spent. Mike the Intern, Jake and Bart be back next time. Same lot, same vibe, same Chiefs passion. Only on 104.7 The Cave.